First, tell people you know why their team is losing. Blame God or the circumstances. And you can make a fortune if you could convince them that that type of sadness. Change the quarterback, change the coach, blame God or the circumstances. That leaves you time to worry about a football team, have a beer, and then ponder if circumcision became the default position of the United States medical money making machine. Circumcision. It was a big part of America. Everybody was circumcised when I was a young man. Why? When? How did that happen? Ask the same. How did aspartame, how did saccharin, Tylenol, how did these things get approved? It was a sham. It was forced through. Fluoride in the water. Here we are. What is the pure, undefiled religion? What were we told we must contend for? What was delivered by the apostles that is still part of your life? Big talking while slow walking, distractions, denominations, considering your Christian brothers Mormons, Pentecostal, Roman Catholic, charismatic, worshipers of Mary. What is the faith? What was Charlie Kirk? Is it enough to say he was pro-Trump and he loved God, implying that they loved God together until something with the Zionists? But is it enough? What is the faith? What is the faith we're supposed to die for? Welcome, everybody, to Mud Flood was Armageddon. The Mud Flood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. Oh no, where's my thing? I got to get the thing out because I'm going to be looking at some other videos just for un momento, sharing the fact that you do know and habla the Espanol. You speak Spanish. At least you know 4,000 cognates. Importante for you to know that. I saw somebody, I was watching a video about hey, what's the free movies on YouTube? Something like, secret symbolism, past lives I see. I might be looking that up. Look at this. What is this here? I don't know why. Look at this. I have seen and have blocked numerous less than AI, greater than Dick Wilson bot videos. This is the first I've seen any kind of backfeed on any of this. And then only just a tad from the actual mouth of Dick Wilson. Dick Wilson is not happy. Dick Wilson has not said shit about how he nor we can fight back against this. Dick Wilson never said, do what I'm already doing, which is to block every AI feed on site. What is he talking about? Trump beast? You voted for it. You cannot now be saved. Have made your choice. So he's thinking if you voted for Trump, that's the mark of the beast. I don't think so. I don't know. But it is interesting that I never gave 1 second of time to the whole Atlas, the 3-1 Atlas. It's supposed to be a UFO. Now the Jewish Harvard astrophysicist is talking like, no. I guess it's only it's most likely natural after all. After calling it an alien mothership, and people jumping onto it, man, running that possibility. Good job, Avi. Oh, that was just, the LGBT. He showed his face. These guys are laughing because, yeah, he still can't really string together a sentence. It wasn't going too good. I was hoping I was sharing that. The flat earth bingo. I know they're really coming at those avid, hardworking flat earthers that keep putting it out. We'll look at some more video later. The I want to contend for the faith. What do we believe? I know that we're to have mercy on those who doubt. Take, watch the people that are having wavering faith, but we do have to recognize in the scripture you should contend earnestly. It's not enough. There is a faith. It's not anything goes as long as you like a political party or you're willing to say, I don't like that political party. Oh, no. But very important verse here. It doesn't matter. Earnestly contend for the faith. I might leave that open as I read down a few. I know after my departure, fierce wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. That's why they were to watch over themselves. That's why there were overseers who would say they're wavering from what the Bible teaches. 2 Peter 2, verse 2. Many will follow in their depravity, and because of them, the way of truth will be defamed. Well, nobody wants that. These false teachers exploit. They use deception. They're not with everybody else, and they usually are saying things, not me in particular, but other people like, well, he's too harsh. He's too harsh. He doesn't know how to love. I'm really trying to hold firmly to the faithful word as it was taught. And that's what I want my friends to do. That's what they want me to do. So that is, why do you pick a self-controlled, holy, disciplined man to be an elder or a deacon? Because you want these guys that'll hold firmly to what is being taught, encouraging others, knowing there is sound teaching and there is refuting those who contradict it. Maybe you're not up to it, but you can vote for the people who you know should be doing it. That's the way they did it. I know our mindset today is, nope, one good thing about flat earth is we don't have a church and I'll never go to a church and nobody will ever tell me I'm your pastor. Okay. Not me in particular, but they're saying anybody's ever going to tell them, that here's what's true, here's what's false. We're going this way. If you want to go with us, this is what we believe, and how can two walk together? If your brother sins against you, go and confront him privately. If he listens, you have won your brother over. It's that simple. They're either right or they're wrong, and you have to let them go. Galatians 1:8. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to the one we preach to you, let him be accursed. Because Jesus Christ gave the gospel to the apostles, and they put it in the Bible. The afterthoughts, the apocryphas, those are not scripture. Those are the ones you should feel very sketchy about. Philippians chapter 1, verse 27. Nevertheless, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel. Then, whether I come to see you or only hear about you in my absence, I will know that you stand firm in one spirit, contending together as one for faith of the gospel. The gospel teaches it. We are not supposed to be afraid of it, that people twist it and embrace things and say, well, that's not a salvation issue, because nothing is a salvation issue to them. Matthew 24:13, New King James. He who endures to the end shall be saved, in persevering in that faith. Here's back to Jude again. Here's that thing. It is a common koinonia type faith. It's common. It's common Greek. And if impure, things are common. If it's saintly, it's same word as holy. It's set apart. We've been set apart, not common. We belong to and have been made pure by faith. It's our common salvation, our common faith. Now, why do this? I had some of the other pictures here. Make sure I'm sharing. Let's see what this one is here. So that's fake. Why would they do this? Why would a computer with 9,000 subscribers called Chronicles of 1939 make an all-white crowd with a fake parade that they acted like a Christmas parade from London, everybody, and they just rolled it as a parade. I believe I left it up, and I'll show you. These buses are actually moving up and down the street. It's called the London Jesus Parade. All white people, a little bit of darkness here, a little bit of tan, some, but this was not a real parade. There you see how the buses move and the people just get out of the way. It's rolling through there. There's a lot of Mary. Like I said, I see a few maybe darker skin, dark hair, but it's mostly blonde, white people watching a fake Christmas parade, propping up the non-star fort city of what Jesus lived in, a time where, the word that the inn, like the camp of the saints, it means a castle. It means barracks. We've seen the star fort cities. It's like saying that's the inn. Not this. What's with all the white people with the two-finger salute? These are fake white people. Everybody that, if there was a parade this popular, it would not look like this. Too white. The buses, what's going on? So let's see. Last night, the power went out for a third of the people in San Francisco, 130,000 customers. And that means homes or businesses, not people. Homes and businesses are customers. Addresses are customers. So we don't know. It says something about 945 was still affecting 14,000. So it lasted quite a while and was still going on as when I had that checked out. I had to look at the the sleepy economist, because sometimes I'll check out what the computers are putting out. How did Toys R Us go bankruptcy? A $5 billion debt costing 33,000 employees. Hey, they do it. I'm just showing it. It's the largest volcano that ever. So I'm just doing some more clipping it, trying to do that. Look at these buses. Look at this crowd. Is there buses moving here? Well, why would they do this? Look, it's still getting 34,000, almost 1 million views from. Come on, it's 2 days old, and people are watching it. They're still thumbing it up. 34,000 people going, yeah, give me some more. It's the same thing.
And be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
And here come the birds. Are you kidding me? And in our world, it's this.
There's not much else in there as far as that video
they
value goes.
unearthed this. There's a full 45 minutes of it. When Julie Kelly was on, and I've subsequently asked, like, I remember she mentioned during our stream that, the shoe size would be between 9 and 12. And I was like, apparently it was the FBI that mentioned that during one of their press releases.
Wait, is this Julie Kelly who doesn't believe that the FBI got the right guy and doesn't believe that this could be the right person, but celebrated this being the right person and tried to dunk on everybody?
So this guy is the ex-FBI, and Viva Free, he's, I guess, whatever he is now with his million or a lot of subscribers, an ex-shoe salesman.
That said other people could be it. Is this the same Julie Kelly?
That is the same Julie Kelly, but that does not mean that she's wrong on this particular point, because she said it when we were live, and I said the guy's 5'8" or 5'7", and has got between a size 9 and 12. It's like, I've never known anybody, and I sold shoes that would be 5'7" and had a size 11 foot, like 9, 9.5, and 10, and maybe 10.5, but 11 to 12. And I was like,
right? I mean, it's all coming down to, for me, and okay, I'm not picking on Viva Free anymore. These guys, we got this guy. They showed it was a girl, and they were using Glenn Beck, the Mormon, Charlie Kirk connected. Candace Owen loved them, had loved them, was big part of them. The Roman Catholic Mormon, they're the ones contending for the faith right now. And wait till you, did you see they call him like a Gary Coleman clone, the guy that they're saying that he did it, and they traced it after the Mormons showed, no, it was that FBI agent. And now I think I'm going to show it. FBI was involved with Candace Owen because of coincidence. A guy named Mitch happened to see Erica Kirk at Fort Huachuca, or something like that. I know everybody's struggling with it, but I think it's Huachuca. You're just saying that because it's true. Some more sharing.
So apparently the FBI did say that. And now, apparently, if indeed this is the same guy, the question is going to be, in the video of the January 6th hoodie person, does that look like a size 12 foot or 11 foot? Because apparently this kid has massive feet in proportion to the size of his body.
Yes, that will be the question.
That'll be the question. That'll be one question. The second question is, he's looking at his phone, compare that to the pipe bomber. who's there walking very nonchalantly, looking at the phone from down here, whatever. That's going to be another issue.
Yeah. The other problem is that nobody who's seen this kid thinks that he's the guy, having watched the pipe bomber footage. And that includes new interviews that have been done in the last couple of days, people in the neighborhood, people that have interacted with him. He's a very repetitive human being that basically does the same thing every day, eats the same thing every day, goes to the same places every day. And none of those things apparently include going into Washington, D.C. So out of nowhere, this guy decides to break his whatever it is, 10-year pattern of being a grown up that's kind of living a very repetitive, controlled lifestyle. And then just decides, 2 years ago that he prognosticates there's going to be an election he's got a problem with. So he starts buying pipe bomb material.
They show him. I didn't do the timestamps, but he bought something. Here's the guy. He bought a connector for a 9-volt battery. 9 months later, he bought something else. And over the course of 3 years, they said he could have made a bomb, but they don't know where he got the explosives. Here is the young man getting a ticket, being repetitive. Here's your killer. He self-confessed, I love My Little Pony. I have My Little Pony for 10 years on my website where I walk my little dog every day. I did get my driver's license, but oh no, I didn't do it right.
I was looking for a place that I could, go on to the next lane, and then just one small lapse in focus, and I just crashed behind him.
Cole was driving the blue Nissan Sentra when he rear-ended the truck in front of him.
If you would have left some space, you would have.
Okay, here you're observing
the vehicle. Does that make sense?
I'll pause it for a second.
So here's where you notice that he's looking to his right. Some people are saying he was just looking at the license plate.
He's not. We've done some analysis on that.
No, and also, under what circumstances would he be writing in the license plate number on an infraction? I mean, the police would write that in, no?
I would think so. Yeah. So you'll watch him. He'll do his head nod. He does it about 4 times. So we can, and even in this small little clip, and this is a cherry picked clip. I'm gonna actually roll back just a little ways. Actually, if you look here, he's got the phone right up on his face, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Ready? I'll roll it. And people just watch. He's going to basically take the, he's going to try to see if he can get his ear down to his shoulder about 5 times or 4 times.
Truck in front of him.
If you would have left some space, you wouldn't have rear-ended the vehicle. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah.
A police officer wrote him a ticket that day for following too closely behind the other vehicle.
I see that you do have a good driving record. You have 4+ points, which is good. You ever gotten a crash before?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I've been to this process before.
The consequences of this non-criminal offense are minor compared to the federal charges Cole is now facing.
All right. So there's not much.
Oh, man. So you look into the face of evil like that stone pipe killer, and I think you're changed. I feel changed. So anyway, where's that girl at? Because she did it. What are you talking about, you guys?
This is the argument I've seen some Green Berets make, is that he built test bombs and must have built, because where were the other bombs?
Well, where's the other pipes? Where are the shoes, by the way? Like, here,
where are any of the things that are supposed to be like and they did it 5 years later? It's like all of it is illogical. Here, you know what the other crazy thing is for the chat to get out there and discuss? Anybody who's ever been in law enforcement knows that if you have a chance to seize a thing of value that is also potentially like implicated in the crime, then you do it. You're going to seize a car. That's right. And you'd seize the car because theoretically it was the mechanism by which he went in there and delivered the, the devices. There's the possibility that there's residual black powder or whatever else is from in there. Evidence in a homicide. It was a vehicular homicide. Somebody ran another person over in that truck, and then they drove around and then they hit like a rock, and then the passenger died going through the windshield or something. And then the driver was caught, but like a year or 2 later, like committed suicide. So nobody owns the truck anymore. It's still like it's just a thing. We don't have anyone. We can't return it to anybody. So it just hangs out there in the garage. It's been there for 8 years. That's the FBI we're talking about. My buddy told me for a fact that the FBI has a severed head hanging out in the freezers or in the refrigerators of the Miami field office, because he brought it back from like the Dominican Republic on some dude who got killed and cut up, and it was an American, and they brought the head back. in a jar or like in a bucket, and then nobody knew what to do with it. And then they closed the case because all the guy's family members all died because there was a hurricane or something. And so they have this severed head just hanging out in a. In other words, if he was doing something with his phone in a place that also makes sense, then you have a much, much harder time disproving that he was either driving, walking, filling another activity. And so how do you overcome that burden? Do you even, what AUSA wants to bring this case? Which, by the way, they haven't gone to grand jury with it yet, which tells you something. That should tell people a lot. They didn't take this for an indictment. They took this to a magistrate judge where a case agent swore it out to a magistrate judge where a case agent swore it out to a judge in a written format, an affidavit, as opposed to going out and doing like the Q&A version of what the grand jury process looks like. And just a refresher for people that didn't.
These guys are getting way too deep in the weeds. I just wanted to know some weird stuff about it, So let's let's just see what we got there. I hope you're not like a big like, oh my gosh, I've got to get all the information right now. I don't have time for that. Okay.
The Democratic National Committee is thanking the FBI for arresting a man in connection to pipe bombs placed at the DNC and RNC before the January 6th attack. Investigators have been trying to crack the case for almost 5 years, offering a $500,000 reward. Now ABC News has exclusive video of investigators searching the suspect's home. ABC News Washington Bureau Managing Editor Catherine Falders is here for more on that. Hi, Catherine. What's the latest here?
Ring camera footage from one of the neighbors that we have obtained. It shows the law enforcement presence outside the alleged suspect's home.
So this is the guy. Excuse me. That only wears Crocs in every picture that he's ever used, but supposedly he bought $275 tennis shoes for this day and decided to dress like this. No, it's a lie. It's a pretend. It's so fake.
Who we are told by officials is a man, a 30-year-old man named Brian Cole Jr. Now, we expect that he will make an initial appearance in federal court in Washington, D.C. There are charging documents that have yet to be unsealed at this point. When we see those documents, of course, we will know the specific charges, what he is charged with, and maybe get additional information on what exact information led investigators to find this suspect. Now, remember, this has been an extensive years-long investigation. There have been more than 1,000 interviews the FBI has done.
News now. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dee Gatton. Let's get right to breaking developments.
Well, we were there pretty much. We had crews there the entire day, and detectives were there pretty much until about 6 p.m. That's when we started to move back up here to the RNC and the DNC headquarters, which was just
collecting dust. But for someone as dangerous as this, the suspect, because as we know, those bombs could have detonated. They did not, but they could have, and it could have been catastrophic. Why would the FBI not prioritize this?
The only thing I can think of, two reasons. Incompetence, which could have happened. Maybe they lost some of the people that knew how to actually do this type of investigation using cell phone data, which is highly unlikely. But I think the other issue, Jan, is that Bureau had so many resources dedicated trying to track down individuals from the January 6th incident. So I think when you dedicate all those resources and divert them to...
So this is Fox. So they're going to have to, it's Brian Jones, but it's not Trump. It was Biden. Those guys did it. The tracking it down, it is so stupid. This is ridiculous. I wish I could remember some of the, in my algorithm, it's nonstop. The ones about Erica Kirk, not too much. They do have some. I thought there'd be more. Of course, everything is redacted. Everything is redacted. 22,000. He had 800 subscribers when he first mentioned Google Trends. This is how the Lord works. But he's a Roman Catholic. and he's got the fleur de lis, and now he's friends with Ian Carroll, Candace Owen, and the others who are exposing everything. He's been on the air for over 2.5 hours. It's still
which pixels move the farthest. So it'll the best, John, if I'm getting this wrong.
But everybody knows that they're going to come down to no bullet could have done it. It could have been a plastic. There's a 0.4 second the shirt moves before what they claim is a non-frangible, whatever that means, bullet exits the 0.4 seconds delay in the blood spurting out. 3 hours, 4 hours, a lot of jibber jabber.
Wow. Do you see something missing? He's missing a pocket. It looks like he's missing a pocket. Like, I see that pocket. I don't see that one. The shirt looks green. The shirt looks gray now instead of green. That could just be a white balance issue. But I don't know how you miss a pocket.
Who they miss a pocket?
And his beard looks different.
Really?
He's back to different beard. So I'm gonna show you.
I'm gonna say it had to be better
in
the beginning.
It happened in Utah, of all places.
It had to be better.
The SAM flight that went into Fort Huachuca, where allegedly Brian Harpole and others were spotted the day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So we're putting all this together. There's a lot of brain power again that's required in all this, and we're not even done yet. We're just getting going.
And they got every top Mormon and charismatic and Roman Catholic going, they're busy not contending for the faith, but when we get to the bottom of this, there's going to be 3,000 subpoenas hanged out, and they're going to be on the telephone poles saying, "Oh no, I knew he was going to get me."
So stay with me.
For the next 3 hours.
Brian Harpole, August 24th, we start planning in earnest. Well, that's a Sunday. August 25th. Hang on. I got to do this.
Do it.
I don't care.
Do it.
I don't care. Bye.
Oh, man. See, he doesn't care.
I'm not tuning in to watch you. If you don't like what
That's right. He had 800 subscribers and he was happy. Now he's got 125,000 darn near. So he doesn't have to take the time to blah, blah, blah you, little man.
They had previously been fined, and this is going to come up in a minute and be important. So I'm going to go ahead and show it since I have this up. They had previously been fined because one of the explosive materials they were using, called cyclonite, was not properly stored, and it was landing on people's skin, and it was causing them seizures.
Yikes.
They would have this cyclonite land on their skin, and it
not that he doesn't give out some interesting stuff in this 3-hour diatribe.
Would cause them seizures. And the reason that cyclonite is so dangerous is, and I looked this up, if it gets into the soil, it doesn't break down. It's very soil mobile, they call it. That's the word they use, soil mobile. And so it's very...
Nobody wants that. Break it down.
On the right, a Shure SM58 microphone. So they're holding the same mic. So if you want to know what Charlie's microphone looked like, look at John Bray at the top of the three-man totem pole over there. So what this video is, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. John wrote a computer program using an MIT process. He wrote a computer program that, as the pixels move from frame to frame, it will tell you which pixels move the farthest. So the best, John, if I'm getting this wrong, apologize. But the best way I know how to explain it is, like, every pixel is given an identity, and then where that pixel moves, it'll color it based on how far it moves. So if it doesn't move at all, the screen doesn't change colors. But when it moves, you'll see an energetic source coming from the T-shirt here. So I'm going to let him keep going, but I'm going to stop it when you see the T-shirt move.
In it, and it was enough energy to actually...
Boom, right there. You see that? This is why we all assumed, myself included on day one, This is why we all assumed he was wearing body armor. Because his shirt moved as if he got shot in the chest. We instinctively know what that looks like. We've watched it on movies. We've watched it in real life. If you've been in war or anything, you know what people look like when they get shot. What you don't know.
It really kind of looks, you can't tell. They don't go reach. I've seen one person shot. They just look down like where they felt something. That's what he did.
Oh, is what's causing this movement, because instantly within minutes we were told no, he was not shot. He was not at all shot in the chest. He was shot solely in the neck. Nothing made contact with his chest because he wasn't wearing body armor, and had he been shot in the chest, it wouldn't have deflected. It would have gone right through him.
Wow. Let's see what I had next here.
So the FBI, Candace Owens is asserting, is part of the Charlie Kirk assassination cover-up, if not part of the assassination. And here's a quick little hint.
Ask whether or not the feds took her phone.
So this is when she had her meeting with Erica Kirk, and she asked, did the feds take your phone?
I did ask whether or not the feds took her phone, took Charlie's phone, and they didn't.
What? Why wouldn't they? Huh? Also, the car that transported him to the hospital, they've completely scrubbed and resold.
That's shocking.
They got rid of it already. Yeah.
I think the feds are involved.
So let's play that again.
I did ask whether or not the feds took her phone, took Charlie's phone, and they didn't. I think the feds are involved.
So I agree with her. You didn't take Charlie's phone? I think the feds are involved. So here she is again.
So look, I'm going to be honest. I've never played chess before, but I do feel like I am a little bit of a chess master because I know the game the feds are playing, the military is playing. It's basically a psychological operation right now.
As someone who has picked up chess about 2.5 years ago, play almost every day, and been far from a chess master, it has nothing to do with real life. It is God teaching you a lesson that he's in control, that you could win any game, you could lose any game, but you are not a chess master, young lady. I'll play you in chess any day.
Now employing all their troops yesterday to call me a fraud. Everyone stop watching. Candace has been bought and paid for. Like, we were so botted yesterday. But obviously, I have been sitting on stuff for a very long time. I have always known that you have to piecemeal things to separate the wheat from the chaff. Today,
no, you have to piecemeal things when you're stretching it out, dropping the hints about what a happy Roman Catholic you are, smiling about the clips when Erica Kirk walks in and said, when Charlie came home, he'd go, Shabbat Shalom, Daddy home. It's such a lie. I think mafia stealing or FBI stealing the mafia from the CIA. That's what's outrageous.
I'm going to tell you guys, we have photos. I've never shared this before. We have photos of Charlie's SUV after the assassination. That's A. B, I'm now going to tell you how the feds were involved at the hospital after Charlie's assassination. I'm also going to tell.
So the feds at the hospital, after the surgeon was working on Charlie and he was pronounced dead, the surgeon wanted to go back into the operating room and clean up the body for presentation to his wife. That's normal. The feds stopped him. The feds would not let the feds at the hospital wouldn't let the surgeon go back into the operating room where he just was. So the surgeon made a phone call, this according to Candace, and talked to somebody at a high level in government. And then the call came back, let him in. So then the feds had to let him back in. What? Isn't that weird? So that's part of that. They also, the feds got the video.
Is it any weirder than a 70-year-old comedian who's been, I'm going to say pro-abortion? You've been mostly left-wing until you got a bad vaccine. That's what you say. And now you're kind of like, oh, that's a lie. Some of the government's a lie, but you're still a social liberal, but you're friends with Candace enough to, hey, this is a psyop. I'm going to jump ahead psyop in it because he gets not funny.
It's not endless speculation. And now Frank Turk's got it. The cops just let him go in the car, take it, and walk away. What? And then the cops have the car scrubbed. And then the cops have it put up for auction. What?
You the real story of how the gun was found. All of this involves the fact.
Oh, I forgot to do this. I wanted to put this in. So how the gun was really found is also amazing. I'll do it in another segment. Oh, I forgot I wanted to do that. How they found the gun that they claim Tyler Robinson used to kill Charlie. It's worse than a joke.
Yeah. They looked at it twice with once with dogs, once with regular people, and then when the feds got there, they told 2 rookie cops, hey, go take another look. And then they found it. Yay! Candace. A new vision.
With, I guess, the usual certainty that I have, but it feels important for me to state it because I hope that because 1 and 2 officers have been courageous, and I'm hearing the rumors, but I want to confirm. I'm hoping that somebody will stand up. Maybe the very officer that was involved in this will stand up and contact me. But I had received a tip a while ago from a few police officers, a tip that I would like to confirm, but I think it should be put out into the open. After we broke the story of the rentals, of the Toyota rentals, I gave you guys the exact description.
Yeah, this soap opera, though, it's hard to top. They had Egyptian planes flying in hit teams. They backtrack. They're throwing the one guy under the bus for saying that Charlie had a strong neck. They're saying they didn't say that. Now, this soap opera is better than professional wrestling.
I also gave you the plates, but that could also be not relevant because if we're dealing with feds, they change the plates, obviously. Anyways, there were some good guys in the police department who had recalled, and I did confirm that I'm speaking with people at the police at the police department at the very least, who recalled something odd that happened on that day involving a white Toyota RAV4. The story goes, obviously, everybody's eyes are peeled, looking for anything unusual, looking for the suspect on this manhunt. And there's an officer who catches a speeding car shortly after the shot is fired. And this officer is convinced that this is the killer. Like I'm going to be in hot pursuit of this killer. The officer pulls over the Toyota RAV4. And when the officer gets to the window, the driver of the RAV4 flashes an FBI badge.
They got him now.
Maybe let's widen it and say within 2 hours, a Toyota RAV4, a white Toyota RAV4 was pulled over and a federal badge was flashed, letting that officer know that he or she was outranked. So,
you're outranked.
There's that.
Wow. Enough of that one. I saved the other one. Is it the explosive parade? No, it's this one. Go. You're still live?
This I don't know any other way to set this up other than to say this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Do you see this image right here?
It's got 2 pockets, but that one really blends in. I see his rounded beard. Let's get a look at it. I don't see a armored vest. Freedom.
This is an image taken by
Freedom
someone of Charlie Kirk before the event. And this is the old man that was standing in the background. Allegedly, this is the old man standing in the background. We now know his name allegedly is Butch Hibbs. And I use the word allegedly intentionally.
Ooh.
I use the word allegedly intentionally. I want you to take a very close look at this man. I'll leave this picture up in just a minute.
Charlie looks kind of soft.
I want you to look at his pants, see how they fit. Look at his shoes, see how they fit. Now, Charlie Kirk is 6'6".
Dang.
Butch Hibbs looks to be about 5'8". Average size, white male. But, I mean, Charlie Kirk is towering over him. What do you notice down here?
His feet are double size.
My boy's got sleds. He's walking around in snowshoes.
He's Bozo. The dude is Bozo the Clown.
Those are clown feet.
Yeah.
When you're 5'8",
stick a white
you're wearing
ball of cotton.
I don't know, size 16s? Like, those feet are bigger than Charlie's.
That's
I don't
not
know
saying
a single
much.
person in America who's 5'8" wearing shoes that big.
The bomber, the pipe bomber from January 6th. He's the same body type almost. You got to learn to get to the point.
Those feet literally are bigger than Charlie's. Look at those pants. Look how they fit. Do you see? This guy's either very popular with the ladies or those aren't his shoes. Very popular with ladies or those aren't his shoes. Do you see thigh muscles busting out of these legs, out of these pants? How many pockets do you see on this shirt? Does that look like the same beard? I'll pull it up again in a second.
Yes, it does. It does right off the bat. It looks like the same beard.
Does
to me.
that look like the same beard?
Yep.
That beard looks weirdly trimmed around his lips. It looks so full and not a single strand of anything but bright white cotton. And allegedly.
It's got the whole shadow. I mean, look at this. Just look at this one part right here. Completely straight. Forget the shadow. Picks it right back up in that straight line. And what was he showing? Him in full sunlight. This is a nice, expensive shirt. This is a zipper button. This is a pocket. This is a pocket. That's a pocket. That's an $85 shirt.
Does that look like the same beard? That beard looks weirdly.
Look, all those Hibbs have money.
Trimmed around his lips.
Yes.
It looks so full and not a single strand of anything but bright white cotton beard. Now look at his sunglasses. Who wears sunglasses like that?
I do.
I'm not done. I've got more footage. Where's the green? His shirt has gone gray. Oh, it gets better. Better, you say? Better. Just wait.
That wasn't anything.
I got to set this up. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting, but I got to set up. So see that white hat in the background that just appeared right here? It's off to this man's shoulder, like if you take a 45-degree. Listen from his shirt.
I don't know. It didn't sound that deep to me. It almost sounded like a cherry bomb. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is me, I guess, wasting your time. That's the same guy. That is one layer down for the button. Those are the glasses. I've got a pair like that. Trimmed mustache. What do you want? It's green. What?
And tell me that's the same person.
Yes. Wow. Okay, so what are you doing now? Getting the money. He's a lawyer. You know that? He's a lawyer.
The film opens with accountant Frank Bigelow stumbling into a police station to report his own murder. He has been poisoned with a slow-acting iridescent toxin, and has only a day or two to live. The rest of the film is a frantic, desperate race against time as he retraces his steps to find out who killed him and why. Edmund O'Brien delivers a tour de force performance.
Wow. So this channel, I watched it. It was shown in my algorithm. It was shown in the algorithm of the video I watched, showed it earlier. RJ pointed out 27 videos in fairly short amount of time, but really picked it up this week. I watched this one. I guess I'll let you see it. I've watched part of this one. That I'm going to hold off on. And this one, it's a computer.
Rules. You are.
And the computers, when the computers are putting out something that basically was given to me in vision, and I started a channel called Flat Earth Nation Golden Age Past, and I knew I would have to contend for the faith. The Lord showed me there'd be denominations and that it would go down like this. I'm glad there's still 20 years until 2046, because there's not going to be a rapture. There's going to be sword, famine, and pestilence aplenty. But when the computers start talking about it, I don't worry about my numbers. I worry about, am I yelling fire on top of the tower? And I am.
Are for them, a temporary administration. This is not a dispute about prayers. This is a struggle for legitimacy. Whoever controls the law controls the people. Therefore, the old law must be declared a mistake, and the new one, the one true law. If someone proves that the law was rewritten intentionally, the throne ceases to be from God and becomes rating, secured by paper. What will you choose? To acknowledge the substitution, or to ensure that no one even realizes that the law was once different?
Okay, that's 52 seconds. This video shows some computer enhanced, visions of type of what the old world is. And for 50 minutes, it steals the time of the new things because it's not contending for any faith. It's basically, yay, what a fun mystery. How are we gonna vote? What are we going to do? Yes, it's so mysterious. They were taller, stronger.
There must be an illusion that this deity has always existed. It was just supposedly forgotten for a while. The end of the 7,000th year since the creation of the world, according to the Byzantine chronology in Rus. The population is in a state of eschatological expectation. People sincerely await the end of the world, the second coming, the last judgment, the finale of history. It is a moment of maximum psychological vulnerability of the collective consciousness, when critical thinking dulls and people are ready to believe anything.
No, that's what they would have you believe about 1848 and the Miller Great Disappointment that started the Seventh-day Adventist. Not a flat earther, not talking about the Bible. Basically, it becomes a nothing.
The methods for dating artifacts are carefully calibrated and adjusted to achieve a predetermined, politically correct result. Any serious doubts about the official version, any criticism, are immediately declared pseudoscience, marginal conspiracy theories, charlatanism. Fifth stage, creation of staged material evidence. Mass photographs of the 19th century show crowds of people supposedly actively constructing monumental buildings, which had actually stood in their places many centuries before this moment.
And they've made us into
and slowly dies along with its
the country that will accept everything. Here's another one from the same guy.
bearers.
Computer.
It is still possible to pass the secret to a son, but for knowledge to spread further, to another city, to another region, this is no longer possible without risking one's life. After 1 or 2 generations, the connection between masters from different areas is severed completely and irreversibly. And copper centers live richer than the court. Their own money, craftsmen with old secrets, memories of the former, stronger state. These people are not afraid of hunger and do not depend on your favors. They are potential hotspots of rebellion. One decree from you, and salt turns into a luxury. Copper is declared royal, and any discontent can conveniently be labeled as a copper riot and suppressed by law as rabble. What will you choose? To tolerate the rich and independent in your land? Or will you ignite this rebellion yourself to finish off those who still remember how the country lived without you? Enter any museum of Russian history of the 17th century and linger at the showcases with copper items. Look at the quality of metalworking, at the complexity of the ornaments, at the scale of copper usage in the daily life of that era. Copper dishes, copper plumbing pipes, copper domes of temples, copper decorations. These are not individual specimens, not luxury items for the chosen few. This is mass production, requiring a developed industry and deep knowledge of metallurgy. Now ask yourself a simple question. Where did Russia in the 17th century get such reserves of copper and technology for its processing, if officially large copper mines were just beginning to be developed? Copper in that era was not an ornament or a fashion statement. It is a functional material of high technology. Copper conducts electricity better than almost all metals. Copper does not rust from water. Copper possesses bactericidal properties, which made it an ideal material for plumbing and utensils. If you are building a water supply system...
You'd think that since copper, is antibacterial, they'd use it in hospitals instead of stainless steel, which basically is an incubator for pathogens. I don't know.
You choose copper. If you need conductors for energy transmission, you choose copper. If you are creating resonators or elements of complex mechanisms, you again turn to copper.
Does that help you contend for the faith? I mean, we know these things. You know these things. I want you, because you know these things.
Buildings from the 17th century do indeed preserve proportions and scales clearly not intended for people of our usual height.
Let's see what else we got here. I was going to show you. This is that one. It was about that clock tower. The one from the computer I just didn't show you of why some of them have 17s, on their clocks. But they don't show the old clock that he showed. The towers of Russia. Man, it was always has been a big deal since I found out what these guys were doing in Russia with, hey, Anatoly Fomenko, Russia is the true Jerusalem, and Russia's the true chosen people. And Anatoly Fomenko proved they added 1,000 years to take away the greatness of what they call Tartaria. And my brain went ding, 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 ding. That's the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Now the Bible makes sense. What if I start reading the Bible and then it just boom, boom, every page, he must appear. Those who are alive and remain. The people that pierced him will still be alive. The high priest Caiaphas had to still be alive when he came back. And it all took off, and I kept contending for the faith while everybody else said, no, Paco, let's go to Atlantis, man. Forget that there's let's stick with the Russian Atlantis, Tartaria only thing, because, well, Russia is like the United States. It's got old mysterious buildings, and then their capital got nuked in 1812 to 1814. Not nuked. destroyed, rebuilt, because everything has been found and rebuilt, and we've been given lies. Stay with me these last 20 minutes and you'll be happy. But only because Jesus is there. These are the people that run the world. It's going to make you sad, I know, but it's important for me that you have to see this.
During the night, he was drunk and told me it was time for me to grow up. He crawled into my bed and did very bad things. Was that the only time? Well, from that point forward, whenever he would get drunk, I knew he would be coming after me. I started spending the night away from home whenever I thought he might go out and start drinking. I started stealing sleeping pills from a stash of them I found in the medicine cabinet just to not be awake during those times. I then started taking them during the day just to numb the pain. I've been addicted to some kind of drug ever since. And you mentioned earlier that your dad would sometimes bring others with him. Would you clarify that? Well, sometimes, but not often, my dad would bring over Robert Mitchum. Now, I need to say that I said in the blind Robert Mitchum. That's what I revealed in November of 2018. Since I did this, I have also learned that Gene Hackman, okay, according to an adult star who did a film with Kelly Van Dyke, she told him that Gene Hackman was also involved. But in this particular case, I'm just talking about Robert Mitchum because that was in the magazine interview. She said he was a big movie star even back then. My dad would bring me to one of the guest bedrooms and tell me to make his friend happy, and that if I didn't, he would beat me. This started after I had started taking pills, and most of the time I was a zombie, but knew there was no fighting it, so would just do what he or any of the other friends dad brought over wanted to do to me. Well, how many times did Robert Mitchum come over? At least 5 or 6 times. One time my dad brought me to a film set to watch Martin Landau make Lethal Victims. I thought it was really fun to be there until my dad told me to go to Martin Landau's trailer and wait for him. I knew what that meant. I hated going to any movie sets after that. My whole life has been one effed up mess because of what my dad did to me. Do you think I like doing what I do for a living? I hate it. Every single time I have sex, the faces of these men show up everywhere. I hate my life and I hate living. And in 1991, like I said, apparently upset over marital problems, she unalived herself in her North Hollywood apartment. A friend found the body, and investigators found no note. But about 20 minutes before she was found, she, like I said, phoned her husband. An actor on location spoke of it. Her husband phoned the Madera County Sheriff's Department, which in turn contacted LAPD. But by the time police arrived at the couple's apartment, her friend had already found her. And at that time, Van Dyke's father had recently received an Emmy nomination for his role on the ABC program Coach. And her uncle, of course, Dick Van Dyke. And the National Enquirer reported that after Jerry Van Dyke's success with Coach, Kelly, who was a struggling actress, appeared in a lesbian adult film entitled The Coach's Daughter. Billing herself as Nancy Kelly, she went public when she did the film to embarrass her dad. And there was bitterness between the father and the daughter, and National Enquirer.
I can only imagine there's some bitterness there, you know. That's the world we live in. Here's one of Robert Mitchum's most famous parts. He's speaking in tongues. It was a common thing in the 1950s or early 60s when they made this movie Cape Fear. Also very popular remake from what I understand. This is that Robert Mitchum. Oh, no, wait. I have that one pulled up. This is the famous guy who did the Godfather movie, not Robert Duvall. He's famous, De Niro, playing the same part in the same movie, centered around a 12, 14-year-old girl.
Eases inhibitions. You down here for drama?
Yeah. Are you the drama teacher?
Now you're, let me guess, Cecile James?
No, I'm Danielle Bowden.
Danielle? Oh, we spoke last night.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. How rude. It's okay. I think we're alone now.
Okay.
I've never seen this scene, but it's, obviously he's up to no good.
Well, here we are, counselor. Just two lawyers working it out. I'm gonna kill you. You already sacrificed me.
That's weird.
He is questioned, revealing that compliance, not safety, was the real objective all along.
Definitely good. Yeah, with definitely a lot of people here.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, yeah.
You came to the right place to be around law enforcement.
Yeah. Well, we like to observe y'all in your natural habitat. You know what I mean? We kind of like to see what y'all get up to. It takes a special breed to really take the taxpayers' money for your job and then go and.
This moment highlights a crucial point. Citizens are not required to answer questions simply because an officer asks them, especially when no crime has been committed.
Are you with this guy, with Jeff, I guess? Are you with Jeff?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's that. I also I was reading this one article and it said bullet daggers. I was like, what? I gotta look it up. But I'll show you a picture of some. Here we go. Look at that one. I can't read it. Anybody? Anyway, it's supposed to look like bullocks, testicles. I didn't know that. I am that freaking naive. Honestly, I didn't know. So I looked it up, man. The bullock dagger. They're the ones that said that. Looks pretty fancy though. Are they smoking a little weed there? What are they doing? Making copper? I don't know. It looks weird. One more. Oh, so they're old. They were found on the Mary Rose. I was looking at that again. The bullock's dagger. Daggers do get very ornate, do they not? I want a sword. Okay. I'll make it with a copper handle and put some rubies in it. Okay. Is this still a bullock? It's not really. But daggers. They've been around. They're mentioned in the Bible. Always been a fancy world we live in. The Morgan Bible mentions them. Shows some weirdness going on. Look at, they got swords. You don't want to get hit in the head with one of these swords, because this helmet it's not gonna do it. And his helmet's different. I'm not sure, because these guys are not. These helmets do not work according to the Morgan Bible pictures. This is not going to be a good day for the guy who has this fine animal. What's going on this other side? Okay, that's not a good day for him. Pictures from the Morgan Bible explaining the high quality steel, I guess. And are they contending for the faith? I know that's what is important to you. Go get in there. And they're going like, you first. These helmets do not, they get right. They don't work. Go get them. Did you see that? They don't work. But Hans Talhofer, when the wheat and the tares were separating and they had to learn how to do martial arts, it never got any better. He left tons of books about how to fight. And I think he's being a little over symbolic there, Hans. We know. Oh, you got your house. People pay you how to learn how to fight. Some of the weirdest books. Yeah, women were getting in there, but they had to put the man at a disadvantage. The insanity knows no end. But that's the end of what we got now. Lord will show me something else for in the morning. But this is the last chance, the only chance that you will ever have to get this invitation. Join me while I beat my sword into a plowshare. It's never been done, but it's been recommended by God, Lord Jesus. This is a flat earth nation. The golden age has passed because the mud flood was Armageddon. Me and my friends will never tell you anything else. We know we've been called, chosen, predestined, elected, adopted to be on our knees and confess Jesus is Lord, believe it in our heart, call it a first love. Want to warn you, they added 1,000 years. The millennium's over. Your parents or grandparents had to be in on it because here you are. Your parents or grandparents weren't institutionalized. They weren't euthanized, lobotomized, genocided. No, you made it so that you could sit in school and learn the crap they gave you. The widest of roads will accept it all. But if you hear his voice, you'll join me and others who have ended up figuratively or literally on their knees confessing that I hear God's voice. I believe he died for my sins and rose from the dead. And that's what'll get you dead. Because the people who haven't had their eyes and ears opened, you're talking clicks and buzzes about something that a spirit has changed you. And now you believe it. And they're still going like, it's these guys that didn't take the vax. Yeah, they're going to kill you, man. We want to warn you, it doesn't have to be that way. You can run away. Don't draw a line in the sand and fight to the death. Live to live another day so that you can be that person that gives that young man or young lady a drink of water that doesn't have fluoride in it. And when somebody's great grandma gets thirsty that night, you can give her a drink too, because you didn't go die trying to fight the robot dogs. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Avisen. Nakaman. Adios, amigos. That's how I like to say goodbye from the border of Colorado and New Mexico.